Gutfoxx here. Welcome to another video in tier ranking week. Today we go through catchers in the show 21. So basically this position traditionally has been the weakest in the game, right? Like everybody is in previous years have basically used their catchers. This year, prior to I don't know, like a month ago, like it was obvious to use your catcher right there in the catcher position through the glitch of being able to like put in a bronze guy, then go into the ranked season, switch it over to your shortstop, one that had secondary catcher. I don't know, it was kind of a little process, but let's get right into it, I guess, instead of going through too much more intro. Catchers are pretty amazing right now in the game, and there's a lot of options. So let's just go through it one by one. Sam Huff. Now, there's been a lot of, I would say, talk around Sam Huff. Like, right, got good stats, but people seem to hate his swing, right? He's right there with Gary Carter. One of the worst swings I've ever used. I'll put him in D tier. Sam Huff, I think, is going to go in C tier for me. Slow swing, right-handed bat. I mean, like I said, pretty decent stats overall, but he just didn't have that it factor that a lot of like top-end cards need. Like, you know how Mike Trout's got that really quick swing and whatnot. Same thing. Piazza was basically the best catcher when the game launched, but now I feel like he's kind of devolved a bit. He's definitely gone down. I guess we can look at their stats while we're actually going through them, right? Piazza right here with 90s. Of course, this is parallel too. So he's up a couple points versus a normal one. Not a terrible defender. Like, they gave him really good defensive stats versus known as one of the worst defensive catchers in the league when he played. So surprisingly, they gave him a very good catching attributes, and it shouldn't have been this high at all if we were being more realistic. But it's kind of like the same thing that's going on with Mud. It's kind of like a little bit of inflation that we're seeing in MLB The Show, where like they're not necessarily like as accurate as they should be in a lot of cards. Some of them are great, they're great with. Other ones, it's a little less, I would say, perfect. So there it is, Sam Huff and Piazza, who we got through on the C tier for me right there. Campusano. Now this card is a card that I have not used, right? I looked at it, I saw I did terrible versus right-handers, and sure, he came out during a pretty decent lefty meta, but I never really got around to trying him. Looks like a pretty decent player. We're going to be looking for catchers also with pop time quirk, as that's going to just throw guys out. Now, you can easily throw guys out with something like this, right? 84 arm, accuracy, that kind of stuff, blocking. Great defensive catcher right here. But I basically saw the hole in this guy's game, and I'm like, I want nothing to do with it. I didn't even try him out. Based on his stats alone, I didn't like him, right? D tier. Now, maybe you hit really well with him. If you're, talk to me in the comments, right? Maybe we should make another one where I said did not use. Let's see if we can go here. Add something lower, add row below, get out of here and go have not used. I'm gonna go there, but he just didn't interest me. All right. Rutchman. I really like Rutchman, right? Why do I like Rutchman? Cool name and cool swing to go right. Where do I got him? What the heck? Am I blind? I feel like I'm blind. They're all on like one. Oh, there he is. Right? Cool swing to go along with pretty balanced stats. And the switch hitter is what does it, right? Like a defensive wizard, not like wizard, but like good enough on defense. The switch hitting part of him. That's what's got me sold. And that's why I've liked this Rutchman card himself. Because overall, you know, did well for me. Oh, you didn't see that. It was like he hit like 460 for me. Limited at bats, but like, yeah, did pretty well. Rutchman, I'm going B tier. Joe Torre. Now, it's between here, right? Everybody knows, you know, especially on higher levels, right? So like a lot of this depends. If you're playing on All-Star, Hall of Fame, Legend, the gameplay is drastically different on those two levels. So like if you're playing on All-Star, okay, and or below on ranked seasons, but All-Star if you're playing events, BR, 125 contact is not needed, right? It's really nice, it's awesome, but on that level you're looking for more power. So I'd kind of go more towards the 125 Zunino power than the 125 contact. Even 45 contact and All-Star is plenty enough to hit jacks. But Joe Torre on the high levels, Legend, it's basically like you want it, you need it. Its power is good. Defense is okay. Okay to solid, actually, with 81 arm and decent reaction there. So, overall, love Joe Torre. A lot of people use him as his main card if you're playing on ranked seasons at Legend. But, like, I would say, like, 1/10 of 1% of the game population plays there. It's really just the top-end players. So, I don't know how applicable Legend is for a lot of you guys. Jason Kendall. I kind of want to put him at C tier. I'm gonna throw it down to D tier right now. At the beginning of the year, this Jason Kendall card was great, and I don't know how good he is right meow, but Jason Kendall himself was a contact god for me, right? 93, 122 when it launched. He doesn't have that power against the righties, lefties. He does a little bit better against fast catcher too, which is something you don't see at a lot of catchers. 78 speed on him. So overall, did well for me early in the year. I guess 333 ain't the greatest now that I look at that. Maybe I could put him. I really can't put him any lower than I already have him at D tier right now. Tyler. Not so sold. Oops. All right. I used him briefly, very briefly, and for what he had, for what he stats, nothing special, right? He's nothing special for me. I really can't like bring any more words of saying fringe average, right? Fine. Salvador Perez is between these two, right? Home run derby, Salvador Perez. Let's throw him there. We got another Salvador Perez. Let's actually compare them because it's interesting to see the two different Salvadors. Let me move him to my starting catcher actually, since technically he's on my bench. But Salvador versus Salvador right there. If you want the guy that's gonna kill lefties, the guy on the left, right? The team affinity Salvador. He's also much better on defense style. Neither one of them have pop time. So it depends if you want the guy that's going to destroy lefties, right? Like I feel like catcher of any position in the field is a solid one to platoon because you have guys like Schwarber that destroy righties and guys like Salvador here that destroys lefties with very competent defense. And if you want a more balanced Salvador, I can totally see you going with the one on the right. It's going to be hard for you to decide which Salvador to get. The one that's free is the team affinity, and that might be enough to make you chase that. But I mean, you're only getting 5 contact on the one on the right. But you are losing 28 power, so it really depends on if you're gonna platoon them. Definitely go with the one on the left. If you're not, I can just see the one on the right. Like I will say, the one on the left in the event, I hit a 116 mile per hour hit against the righty. It's a perfect normal swing, 116 mile per hour with 90 power. It just blew my mind how he could hit the ball that hard with only 90 power. I think that made the fastest hit I've had this year. It was like 116 point something, like 3 or something. Crazy. I've hit a 504 foot shot that did not get hit that hard. It was definitely up there. It was like 115 or something, but still, Salvador, I like him. I like Salvador quite a bit. He might even go into my S tier. I'm gonna leave him A tier for right now. I don't know if I have an S tier catcher truly, because they all have weaknesses, and that's the thing. They all do have weaknesses. Zunino on All-Star is S tier. So I don't know, on a Hall of Fame, I'm gonna throw him down to A tier also, right? Like, you know, Zunino's is cracked, right? Like, you guys gotta respect this guy because he has pop time. Zunino has pop time, which means he's gonna play above these, you know, arm at 79 because he's gonna get up and throw the ball and get it down to second base incredibly quick. So at All-Star, he's a god, right? 125 power. It's gonna bail you out. You're gonna barely touch the ball with the PCI and hit a home run. It's just incredible how good that is at All-Star. Now, Hall of Fame, and especially Legend difficulty, contact for Rice is going to be a major issue for you. So it really depends on what difficulty level you're playing at, and if you can handle that very low contact versus right. I think it's manageable. I've only had 7 plate appearances with him, so it's small sample size for me for Zunino. But in those no home runs off of him. Weird. So nothing that I haven't really used him a lot. Maybe I'll try him out in the event here a little bit, but I've been kind of going with the other guys, Perez and the other catcher. I think I'm basically using real Muto and Perez during the event a little bit. But anyways, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. He's A tier because he's got a hole. Jimmy Fox, he also has a hole. Might not be a bad platoon bat with you. I do love Jimmy Fox for the platoon. Hit him against lefties, only against righties. I don't love him. He's also not that great behind the plate. So even though he's catcher secondary, I think there's far better catchers, and I might even move him down 1 tier, but I'm gonna leave him at B tier because he's a very good platoon option, and plus his last name is awesome. He's the Foxman. Posada, I love. Posada is between here right now. I love this Posada card, and I guess we can show the other Posada card with it. I don't think I have the other Posada card in my possession. No, I do not. So I'm gonna have to go to the market for that one. I guess we can go to inventory and see the catchers that way. Posada here, who is the BR program player, since he just came out a few days ago. I don't have him. It's tough on the contact, right? You'll see a lot of guys high in ranked seasons, really say, you need that contact, you need that contact, you need that contact. And I tend to agree there. The contact on higher end is important, like I've said multiple times. I'm kind of berating the point right now. So this Posada, that 121 contact versus right, I got 91 plate appearances with him hitting 422. Not bad. There's a lot of event in there. There's ranked seasons in there. But overall, like even the events, some of those events were Hall of Fame that I used him on. I think. I was surprised with it. I put this guy in my 8-hole switch hitter. I just loved him. Right? Maybe he wants to be fast in the 8-hole, so that way if you get watching, you can steal second. But I don't hate this card one bit. I almost think this card right here, in some senses, you can make the argument. I don't know if I 100% buy it, is better than this card right here. They don't have pop time on it, but it's kind of feeling like the 90 is toss it up. It's the same thing with the 95. A little less pop. That's really it. Is a little bit less pop, but contact against righty is so much more important than a little more pop. I don't know. That's that. I shouldn't have gone like that. So I'm going to put both Posadas. I think I'm going to put both of them in the B tier for me. Real Muto. I think if you want, all right, if you're going to go build an all D team, this Real Muto card is awesome, right? Quirks, he has the pop time quirk. He also has Unfazed, which is great quirk for an active quirk day player. Rally Monkey, when he's behind, he's also going to hit a little bit better. His attributes aren't nearly as eye-popping as the 125s you see on some other cards there. But overall, fast, 74 speed, you see me behind my head. An incredible defensive catcher, too. Especially when you parallel him up to, 90 blocking, then he's wild. But overall, an all-D team, say you don't hit that great, and you got to beat a guy with defense, and you're sick of them laying down bunts. I think this guy has great bunt defense. With his speed versus, if you put Schwarber back there, who's super slow. This JT Real Muto will absolutely snipe guys trying to get to first base. So this is actually a very good catcher. With his jack of all trades style, he may even be A or S tier for me. The fact that he can do it all. The problem is he doesn't have those eye popping stats 125 powers like some of these guys have. Joe Torre, the switch hitting, 125 contact. Travis here. Let me think on Travis. Let me go back and take a look at what I've seen out of him. And it's nothing, right? I haven't used him. Contact versus left is awful, and that's why I stayed away from him. He's basically, he's got reverse splits, but, I've said before, I like reverse splits, but not like this, right? Not that it's this bad. So he's gotten to the point where he's kind of unusable because of how bad he's against lefties. Sure, he's a good platoon option, right? If you platoon him and Jimmy Fox, you got yourself a top tier type of guys. But the problem is they're both right-handed hitters. Travis is D tier because he's righty versus righty. If he was a lefty and platoon against righties, that'd be a different story. So not exactly a great platoon option either. So he's D tier for me. Irod, I really don't like his hitting attributes. I didn't like the way he played. Matt Wieters is very nice. It's between here for Wieters. I might go at B tier for Wieters right now. Wieters, if you have the option, if you give me the option though between Torre and Wieters, again, depending on how I felt that day, I might take Wieters over that. Look at those defensive, the quirk. He doesn't have pop time, but he does have a 99 arm with top end blocking, and fielding and everything. And he's a switch hitter. So yeah, if you give me the option between him and Torre, I don't know. I really don't know. I might choose Wieters, especially during the old lefty meta. It's a righty meta now, so maybe Torre's better with his contact versus righties. But man, I almost want to put Wieters at A tier. I almost want to put him there. Johnny Bench. I don't like the way Johnny Bench cards play. I don't know. Whatever this year. Previous years, it wasn't great for me. We then have a Topps Now card that I do believe is an out of position left fielder. I forgot name off the top of my head. Hayes, is it? Hayes. Yeah, it is Hayes. Now, again, a right-handed guy that destroys lefties. Where you heard that before? Right? You heard it on Jimmy Fox. Basically a Jimmy Fox replacement. I'm going to put him in the Jimmy Fox territory because of his ability to platoon. And he's actually not terrible against righties. So, solid defensive player. Platoons well. I haven't tried to swing though. I don't know about that one. Santana. I kind of want to put him in A tier. Is that weird? Is that weird that we have so many catchers so close to each other? I'll give you one that I had the most fun. This Santana came through clutch for me so many times, I couldn't even tell you. He's won me games on Legend. He's won me games on Hall of Fame. He's been a demon for me. So even though 79 contact versus right on Legend, it's basically like, you know, smaller than an atom. I feel like he had a lot of perfects for me somehow. I don't know why. I don't know if I just focused with him or whatnot, but a switch hitting catcher. Look at his on-base percentage is actually lower than his batting average. That's hilarious. Quirks does not have pop time. Has a decent arm though. I did not mind when I was using Santana at all. I love switch hitters, dudes. You guys should know that about me. I absolutely get the benefit of that to switch hitters. El Gary on All-Star, like right there, right? On All-Star, he is an absolute god. And even like on Hall of Fame, I was surprised with how well I was able to hit with him. Center stuff up. Where's Sanchez? There you are, 89 overall. Right, like against righties, he's dominant. Against lefties, he's not supposed to be, but I don't know. 38 contact, 122 power against a guy throwing from the left side. You're gonna get some weak hits, but if you ever get a strong one, it's going far. He's between them. I'm gonna put him at A tier. I'm gonna put him at A tier too. A good arm, right? An incredible arm. And then we get to like one of these, like, you guys know how everybody complains about 2K and grade inflation there, with like guys being absolutely insane, like Shaq getting like a 99 3-point skill or 99 speed or whatever it is. Like this card itself, behind the plate, like there's no reason he should have 82 fielding at catcher, right? I get a catcher secondary, loses it, but like I actually don't mind him against lefties. I've hit well against lefties, I think. 57 at bats, hitting 439, OPS in 1700. Schwarber's got a nice swing, 14 home runs and 57 at bats. Yeah, incredible. I think if I were to go one, Schwarber's my S tier. Like I know a lot of people fear lefty. If you don't fear lefty and you're okay hitting it, Schwarber is unreal. I think he's number one in the book. Like just having those kind of stats across the board. Against righty, he kills them. Against lefties, he's way more than competent. And then on defense, like the worst part about his defense is obviously he's not great at throwing runners out. 50 speed means guys can drop some bunch. He'll be a little slower. But he's not like 2 speed, right? He's not like Jacob Stallings out there, who I'm not even rating. Right? I think that Jacob might be like 0 speed unless you parallel him. Like, this card is nutty. Like, this shouldn't be this good. And it is, because he was like the lightning card. But wow. Yeah, I think this is the S tier card. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? Who are your guys' favorite catcher that you use this year? I'll put this in the description if you guys want to run it yourself. You guys can always tweet it at me. I can take a look at it. I've seen some other people's tier lists on the other videos. That's it for the video. Thanks for watching Call to Action. I will see you tomorrow.